doing it, but yes. There we go. So we are now recording, and like I said, if you don't want to be seen, take your video off. And if you, right now, you are muted. If you want to be heard, you can unmute yourself, or you can certainly put questions in the chat for Pam. Um, like I said, this is the Winter Session 2026. Tonight, we're going to be talking about all the ins and outs and secrets of Google searching so that you can get all these cool tips and tricks that you didn't know, and it will really help speed up your search. It will help your frustration. If you get there, you will be less frustrated because Pam will unfrustrate you, so to speak. So I'm going to tell you just a little bit about Pam. For those of you who are new, for those of you who have been here, I usually like to tell you a little bio of Pam Doran. She's been doing our tech labs for about 9 years now. So some of you, a couple of you have been here for years, and hi, thanks for coming back. And some of you, I think, are new. You've been part of, there are other libraries who are now joining the tech labs that we have every month. So welcome to our tech labs for the winter session. Pam Doran, as I said, has been doing this with us for about 9 years, and she is literally the technology guru, the queen of all technology. And a little bit about her: Pam is an expert in cybersecurity. She's an expert, and I'm going to give you a list of things: cybersecurity, generative AI, machine translation of languages other than English. And she does teach that and train people, non-English speaking adults and young people, in how to use machine technology to learn English. She has a master's in learning and emerging technology. I always give you a little known fact about Pam every session. It's very hard to come up with them nowadays. I mean, it's years of trying to figure out new things about you. But the latest and newest thing is that Pam now resides in Florida.
Mm.
So it shouldn't have any impact on our Zoom calls. She can do this anywhere
Mhm.
because she travels to do technology training. But she's moved out of our area, and it makes me sad. But
Mhm.
we still see her. See, there we go. So, the other thing I want to let you guys know, so in 2 weeks on April 29th, our next tech lab is going to be the library apps. So if you need to learn them, and everybody should know them, you should get them. They're so great to have, and understanding how you can actually do and take out things on the library's dime, basically, whether you want magazines or books or any other sorts of reading material. Hoopla is one of the platforms. Blackstone is the newest one. Libby is the one that's been around forever. So I encourage you to join our class in 2 weeks. That's on the 29th. We'll be talking about the library apps.
Mm.
And I don't see anybody else coming in. So Pam, thank you so much for coming tonight from Florida, wherever you are. And we're happy to
Right
have
now
you
in
for our
Hillsdale.
Google search.
I am in Hillsdale right now.
Oh, hey, there you go. I can see
Yes.
you from my house.
Okay. We're slowly but surely closing up this house. We've moved the family down to Florida. So I have a sneeze coming on. Let's see if that's going to happen or not. And excuse me, there it is. Um, this weekend on Saturday, we're having a big move-in sale. So I'll put the address in here. It's been a 23 years, just 63 years of living here in this house. So it's 9161 Route 22 in Hillsdale. So from 10 to 4, we're trying to raise the money to pay for the diesel to move stuff down to Florida. So it takes a lot. We'll discuss that with the Google search and some of the ways that we've helped manage this move. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen, and where we start is the very familiar Google homepage. And this is also the same place that you can get access on your cell phone as well. It'll have the same functionalities, the same things here. A new and recently is this AI mode, which we will cover in a little bit. Now, just the basic way to use any kind of Google search is to put in your keywords and what you're looking for. So I'm just going to put the word Hillsdale in here. Now, when I type that, it's going to bring up the most commonly searched things when people are looking for or click on when they search for Hillsdale, which is why our beautiful little town of Hillsdale, New York, because we're tiny, shows up further down in the list here. There's finally Hillsdale, New York. But before that, we have Hillsdale County, Michigan. We have Hillsdale College. So whenever you want to make Google focus on something you need, there's a trick that we use by putting quotation marks. So if I put Hillsdale, New York in quotation marks, it means only give me hits that have Hillsdale and New York together. So here you'll see now Hillsdale shows up, and instead of other colleges in Michigan and all other places, I find things that are very specific only to Hillsdale. So using those quotation marks and locking words together will make Google search for words that are next to each other. So say if I was looking for a car and I said I wanted a Chrysler, Chrysler 300 SRT, by locking those three words together, it makes sure that I only get Chrysler 300 SRTs. So it kind of helps filter through what you're searching for. So those quotation marks are a very important tool for using Google. Now I'm going to go back to Hillsdale, New York. Now, when I searched for Hillsdale, New York, using my quotation marks, it gave me some lovely pictures of the town, it gave me a map, gave me the current weather, and Zillow kind of gave me a little landing page of items that I'm looking for, which are very helpful. But what sometimes is missed is underneath this Hillsdale, New York, where I typed, you now have these filters where you can search for maps, images, shopping, forums, more ends up being videos, short videos, books, and websites. So I'm going to first start by clicking on maps. And by doing that, it opens up Google Maps. And you can see it shows me Hillsdale, New York. It shows me restaurants if I click on this button. So I can see the different restaurants that are here in Hillsdale: Sweet Peas, Twisted Sister, Four Brothers. I can sort them by rating, cuisine, and hours. So we have that option. If I decided, no, actually, I wasn't a restaurant, I wanted to see a museum, over here to the right, if I hit close, that closes that filter and brings me back to the hotels, things to do, pharmacies. No, there's no pharmacies in Hillsdale. There are ATMs. So by using these different filters, it will show you the closest museums nearby. So here we have the Roloff Jansen Historical Society, Kopek Iron Works, so some nice things. And the results here on the left-hand side will give you more detail and zoom in on that area. Now, once you've decided you found something you want to go to, you also have the option of clicking directions. And by doing that, it will show you the directions on how to get to that museum. So this is showing how to get from over here from Hillsdale to the Thomas Cole Museum. But let's say you didn't want to take a certain road. Say if you have a commercial truck and you don't want to get on the Taconic, by clicking and dragging the route, you can change how you want to travel. And when you let go, it'll update the directions that you're going to take to get there. And you can then send the directions to your phone. So this is sometimes very helpful, especially if you have a big diesel truck with commercial plates and you're not supposed to get on the Taconic, and you know that the maps are always going to put you there. So this is a way that you can use Google Maps. It also offers you gas along the route. So not only will it show you where you get gas along your route, it will also tell you what the price is, which is kind of important right now. So here it'll show me along my route, if I want to pay $4.10, I should gas up at Stewart's along my route. And I'll find the best price today to get gas. So this is a very nice feature that they have built into the Google Maps that I've been using a lot lately. Okay, now I'm going to close that. So that's Google Maps and how you can use it to help you. It also gives you walking directions and bicycle directions too. And when you click on bicycle directions, it keeps you off of places that are not safe for bikes, and it'll include things like our rail trail, where it would not guide a car across that. You can click on the bicycle and it will say, hey, take the rail trail. And eventually the rail trail going over Route 22 will be a nice thing. Okay, so that is the Maps feature of the Google search. Now, next to Maps, I'm going back here to our main where I searched in for Hillsdale and quotes. I have Maps. Then I also have Images next to it. When I click on Images, whatever my search term is, it's going to give me pictures about Hillsdale, which was my search term. So I can see here's the Bojan Brewery, I can hear the Wikipedia page, and I can scroll down and I can see everything about Hillsdale. Now I'm just going to change this search now to horses. So you can see now my page is completely filled with pictures of horses. And then Google search also gives me further options underneath under these buttons here, where I can pick wallpapers, beautiful, running, people riding horses, drawings of horses. So if I click that, I can see only drawings. And then it goes even further, step-by-step learning to draw. So every time you pick one of these filters, it will take you deeper and deeper into what you're looking for. So hopefully you can then find the image that you're looking for. Now, if you're someone who makes newsletters or you're worried about copyright or if you're allowed to use a certain image, if you go over here to the far right, there's a tools drop down. When you click on that, this is where you can pick size. So if you want a very large image, so if you want to print it out and you don't want it to look pixelated and not clear, you can change the size. Color, you can pick black and white, transparent, or you can pick a certain color that you want to be featured mostly. So here I picked purple. You can see how it kind of changed our hits to all purple horses. Usage rights is where you can pick Creative Commons license, which means it's an image that you're allowed to reuse without having to pay royalties. And you can also pick commercial. So if you aren't okay with paying for reuse of any image, you can use that to switch it to commercial. And then anytime you can pick whether something newer or an old picture that has just recently posted. So those are the different features they have with images. Likewise, the next button to the right, videos, does the same thing. So since my search term is still horses, I will only have videos of horses. And this could be helpful for DIY. Say if you're trying to figure out a way to crochet a certain cap, if you're trying to learn a certain dance step, if you're looking to do woodworking, you can put things here. I'm going to put in here line dancing. And you'll see now I am getting only videos on line dancing. So the same thing for yoga or any kind of health thing. Just remember, like they always say in front of any exercise video, make sure you check with your doctor first before you take on any dangerous or activities. But this is where you can find specific videos by search term. So videos and images and maps we've covered so far. So before I continue, is there any questions about that? Is there anything in the chat, Beth, before I go on? Okay.
Nothing so far.
All right, so I'm going to skip over shopping for a second and go to news because the filtering kind of works the same as what we've just seen with maps and images. I'm going to switch this again to Hillsdale, New York, and I'm going to put it in my quotes. And I'm going to then go to news. And here, oh, we will switch back to line dancing. Hillsdale, New York. So when I go to news, here's where I find news that are only specific to Hillsdale, most of it weather. We do have an obituary. So it'll cover anything there. And I'm going to go back now to horses and see if there's any news about horses. So here we have news about horses, wild horses. And you can see 3 hours ago, 12 hours ago, 23 hours ago. So it shows times. Now, just like I showed with images, if I wanted to find the latest news on a specific topic, I once again can go to this tools feature, click it, and I can then select either by recent, past hour, 24 hours, past week, and even archives. So if I go into archives, I can go further back. So we have 20, 2011, 2025. And if I go even deeper into custom range, you can see I can even go further back in time. So I'm going to say 2001, and this is and I'm going to do 1895, 1896 to 2001. Let's do 1900. Go. Well, that time it didn't work for horses, probably because it was too broad. But anyway, if you're looking for like a family last name, or if you're doing a kind of genealogical or historical research, you can use that tool to go back in time to a specific news article or item from the past. I picked horses. Horses, it's just too broad a subject. But if you have a very interesting last name, like say Gormali, which is, we can try doing items like that to go back in time with news. I like using it because sometimes there's something that happened in the past, maybe with music or a concert in the past, and I'm trying to find old articles. So you can use that to go back in time. Okay, so I'm going to go back to all the courses, to the images. And then further down here, after more and maps and web, we have books. And by clicking on that, you can find books, some of which that are in the public domain, like this one from 1895, 1994. Some are just snippets that'll allow you to then go to Amazon to find a book there. So this is a way that you can search for books, and you sometimes can even get a title from here and then paste it into your library's website and have them find the book for you if you're not in the mood for paying for a book or you want to use the wonderful library services that are available. So this is where you can find the books. Where? Okay. So next up, I'm going to go back to just the main Google website by going to google.com. Now on this page here, you'll see we have the plus here. We have a microphone, and search by voice is very helpful if you're using your cell phone. If you click on the microphone, if you don't want to use that tiny little keyboard to type your search terms, you can speak. And I'll see if it'll work because my microphone is being used by Zoom right now. Can you find for me a good restaurant in Great Barrington, Massachusetts? And then I have the 10 best restaurants in Great Barrington. So it did it very quickly and easily for me. So by using this tool here, if you don't want to type, or it's too difficult to type. Maybe you're driving and you're at a stoplight. You can use that tool. Okay.
It's
The
very
next,
helpful, actually. I use
that
it
is
quite a
extremely
bit.
helpful. Do you use that one, Beth?
I use a microphone all the time because I'm
Yeah.
lazy and I don't want to type my question or whatever information I want. I just want to
Yeah,
stop you. Meredith has a question for you and wants to
sure.
know if you have to clear after each deep search, after each search. She's got, do you have to clear after each deep search is her question for you.
You don't have to if you want to keep going deeper. That's not necessary. But if you want to go back and like clear the palette and like start over again and start a new search, you can.
Okay.
So
Do you have to though?
you don't have to. It depends on it's a case by case situation.
So,
So
like if you were moving off of horses and you didn't clear it, would every time you entered something new, would horses pop up again?
if you added to the rest of the horses, like I had horses was still in that search, and then I
Okay.
added more words after it, it would build off of the search of horses.
So as long as you clear where the Google search part is, it would disappear.
Yes, it'll
Okay.
start as a new, it's a great question. It'll start as a whole new search.
Thank you.
Sure. Thank you. All right. So the next feature that they have, you'll see next to the talking to type, there's also a search by image. This I find very helpful when you have an image. I'm going to upload a file here. And let me see, I think I have one on my desktop that I grabbed. I have this one, I'm going back to the horse theme. If you have an image, but you don't know how to describe it or what it is, and you wanted to find out more information, I have just this picture that was framed and knew nothing about it. And I wasn't going to take it off the wall because it was in an antique store. I don't want to mess with it. When I take that picture and it searches, it then tells me everything that I want to know. What the title of it is, Elegant Dressed Woman Jumping Over a Gate by Charles Burton Barber. And then it goes on to explain the medium, the oil painting, the scene. So it describes everything for me. And then I see other places where it is for sale. And then I can even see related pictures. So this is, I guess, approaching the gate, and this is going over it. So there's a few extras here. You can use this like if you are walking around and you see an unusual flower or an insect, and you're like, what the heck is that? If you have your cell phone and you have google.com set up, when you click on this, not only does it say upload or drag an image, you'll have a camera icon. So you can take a picture with your camera and it'll automatically upload it for you and then describe what you're looking at and give you a hint. My parents, who go into thrift stores all the time, use this a lot because they can take a picture of something and figure out what's it's worth and is it worth buying and seeing if they can resell it for more. So it's a very helpful tool for exploring more when you don't have the words, but you only have the picture. So that one is extraordinarily helpful. Now there's a few hidden gems in google.com, and I'm going to show you a little bit here. Let me just go all google.com. So certain search terms bring up hidden features that are easy and fun to use. One is if I search for the word calculator in Google, you'll see that it brings up a calculator for me. Very handy if you're digging around on your desk and you're like, where's my calculator? Or you can't get your calculator on your phone. You could type the word calculator and you have a fully functioning calculator right there at your fingertips, ready to go. They also have the math solving calculator. So if you're doing any kind of um, trigonometry or calculus or algebra that you need to work on, if you're building a house or trying to figure out how many tiles of roof and tiles you need to get, you can use this right there. It's built into uh, right into Google. Another similar feature is one that is used by me a lot too, is if you type the word translate as a keyword and hit enter, you get a nifty little translation tool that will help you out. So if I were to type in Spanish, hola, hola, ¿cómo te va? Hello, how are you doing? It will put that there for me, and it'll even pronounce it out loud for me.
Hello, how are you doing?
Hola, ¿cómo te va?
And like before, you'll see here's the microphone. So if you wanted to speak to someone in a language that you don't speak, and I'm going to switch it over to English on this side because I'm going to speak English for this. It's English. And then over here, I'm going to ask it to speak. And you can see how many languages we have a choice of here. There's over 130 languages. Anything jumping out at you that you'd like to explore, Beth?
Pick, oh boy. Greek. Greek is
Great.
right there. It's right there. It's easy to.
Great. Excellent. So now when I hit this button here, I'll say, we are together learning on Zoom how to use special features in Google Translate.
Μαθαίνουμε μαζί στο Zoom πώς να χρησιμοποιούμε ειδικές λειτουργίες στο Google Translate.
And I can then change it into a different language, which is Welsh.
Rydyn ni'n dysgu gyda'n gilydd ar Zoom sut I ddefnyddio nodweddion arbennig yn Google Translate.
Now, you also have below here this little box, which is a copy box. So if you wanted to copy that and paste it into an email or paste it into a letter or to a Word document, you can also use that tool as well. So this is a nice little translation tool that they have built in here. Now, I don't have any packages coming to me right now. However, in the Google homepage, if you have a package coming from FedEx, if you have a package coming from UPS, from DHL, any of those, you can put the tracking number right as a search term and hit enter, and it will give you the tracking information of where your package is, when you can expect delivery. It does that quite easily. So if you don't want to go to the DHL website and then try and put in your tracking number, it automatically detects the tracking numbers for those three companies, because just like credit cards, they lead off with the same four numbers. So you can put that all in there and it will automatically bring up the tracking number nice and quick for you. The other thing you can place in here is flight numbers. So if you have an airline flight and you want to see what gate you're going to, you want to know if it's delayed, if it's been switched, or if your family member, what time they're going to be landing, you can put like JetBlue flight 690. And I think that's a real JetBlue, let's do 690 flights and just type that in. It will give you the flight status. So you can see here, historical data, I don't know if it's 690 still flying, but it'll bring you right to, well, this one arrived over 5 months ago, so I hope nobody's trying to pick up their family member from this one. But in real, you put in your flight and it will give you that information right quickly. You also can in Google type Hillsdale weather, and it will give you the weather forecast. And I like using this one because sometimes going to weather.com, I just feel like there's so many pop-up ads that it gets in the way of the information that I want or I'm looking for. So, and you can go through it and you can click on it and move through and see precipitation, wind, all of that. So it's a nice, easy way to quickly get the weather that I enjoy using. So that is another handy tool that you can use just by typing the search term inside of Google. Okay. Any questions on that so far before I go into shopping?
I just want to say I use on my phone, which is also very good. If you're traveling and you have your phone, the translate on Google, because you have Google on your phone, is so handy. I have done that with different languages and just sort of showed the screen to that person who speaks that language. This is what I want to say. I've typed it in English and here's the translation. And that was a good communicating tool to show them this is what I mean. And it was in their language. So, and they would always laugh because it was funny. But yeah, it was also a great tool to use in that way on my phone. So
You can also, if you see like you're working with a menu and you're not 100% sure what food is, you can type like pollo and then have it tell you that it's chicken, or if you're in a Spanish speaking country. So you can type words in there as well and get a translation. There's other apps that can do that a little better, but that's a nice, quick, fast way to do it. Okay, so next up, I'm going to go back to the main Google page here. And I'm going to pretend that I am searching, I'm going to for a weed whacker. If I pick weed whacker, the caps lock is on. Here, if I click on shopping, you'll see that it aggregates weed whackers for me and shows me the prices in the various areas. Now, search gives me everything, but I can also select nearby. And by hitting nearby, it tells me what's available 14 miles away over in Lowe's. This is what it is in Ace. Here's how much it is in Walmart. And I can compare and contrast the prices of the weed whackers around me. And again, that saves gas a little bit because then you know which direction you want to travel to. And it also gives you even further filters. So if I wanted to say I wanted to find an electric weed whacker nearby, and then by going over here to the filter, I can also say how much I'm willing to spend. So I can say I want to spend under $100 on an electric weed whacker. And it looks like I can get one from Harbor Freight for $32.99. So this is something that I find very, very helpful. And you can find deals. And you also have here small business. So if you're someone who doesn't want to buy from a big box lot store and you want to support a small business, you can see here, there's a couple of smaller businesses that you can buy from instead. So that is a way that you can compare, contrast, and kind of like doing a consumer reports on seeing what exactly you were looking for to buy. So this works also for clothing. So if I were to switch to jackets, I'll do jackets for women. You can see as well, it starts giving me the stores nearby. I can kind of browse and see which season. If I want a hood, casual, I can go by color, type, again, price, material, and sizes. So it'll walk me through and show me the different jackets that may be available. So again, this is a way that I like to do some shopping if I have to buy something local, before I drive all the way to Hudson and find out it's not there, or I figure out where I want to go. Do I want to drive to Albany? Do I want to drive to Hudson? So I figured that is a nice way to do that. Another way that you can use a secret, kind of hidden way in Google is if you put travel, and I'm going to say travel to Orlando. So if I use the word travel and then the place that I want to go to and hit enter, where's our travel? Oh, didn't work. Maybe it may probably moved into AI mode, which we'll use now. So if I do travel to Orlando, here on AI mode, this is where it starts searching and aggregating all of the information and kind of builds something for me. Right, so it's here, it tells me which one do I like here. So seasonal events, theatrical performances, nature experiences, SeaWorld, theme park updates, April. This still gives me, I'm gonna say I like this response better. So it gives me travel, and then I can say, can you find me a hotel near SeaWorld with accessible rooms? And then it goes in and it goes, says, okay, these have roll-in showers, it has pool lifts. So the Renaissance Orlando, and then it goes in specifically that it has wheelchair accessible ramps. This is very helpful if you travel with pets and you want to know if the hotel is dog friendly or pet friendly, if you're allowed to bring them in there. So you can continue to ask, other things as, do any have airport shuttle service? It says most do not have it. Okay. So instead of me trying to find the one that, hey, where's the one that has the airport shuttle and keep going through each of their websites or using Priceline, whatever, you can use this AI mode tool to try and find. It says, okay, you can book a shuttle, gives me information about how much they would cost. So by using the AI mode in Google search, you can continue to have a conversation with it, almost like you would with a travel agent. And I'm going to go back to google.com. Okay. And you can see here in the main thing, the AI mode can be turned on here as well. And so to demonstrate how AI mode works, I can ask things like, can you help me plan a day trip to New York City? I want to go to a play, eat dinner, and see Times Square. I am leaving from the Millerton train station. So here it starts to be very, very personalized for me. So I can see it's telling me to go to Grand Central Terminal, to expect to travel for 2 hours and 10 minutes. And then it tells me to get on the S shuttle subway for a 2-minute ride. It offers me some ideas for seeing some plays, gives me some ideas where there's dining near Times Square. So I can pick out dining. And then it says Times Square sightseeing. It tells me the different places that I can visit in there. So by giving it this kind of question, like I was talking to a person, it ends up trying to tailor my information specifically to what I'm looking for. Any questions about that one so far?
I think you all know you can actually write your question in the chat. There's a little menu down at the bottom of your screen which says the word chat. I think everybody's aware of that, but I just wanted to reiterate that if you need to access that to ask a question, or you can unmute your audio to ask a question. But I think everybody knows that by now, right?
So Pam, if you wanted to like change something that they give you, do you have to go
Mhm.
back and start all over again? Or, I mean, how would you do that?
The AI mode, what you would do is you would continue that conversation. Let me just pop in there a second. Here, I'm gonna do the day trip to New York City. That worked. I'm just gonna do that quickly. So say if you were looking at this and you're like, okay, so here's parking, fares, schedule. I'm like, how much if I left from Cold Spring, New York instead? So now I'm asking it, I'm not like happy with leaving for Millerton. I want to spend less time on the train. It will then go ahead and rework the information for me. So now it's saying, okay, you're going to get there 45 minutes faster than leaving from Wassaic. So you can see the it's remembering the previous conversation. So it says parking, travel details, and then you can keep going. Can I rent, uh, let's say a bicycle in New York City? Sorry, I keep slipping it into cap lock. So here it tells me where I can rent bikes. I can do all those things. So this works very well for travel. But I'm going to go back to the main Google. And let's use the AI mode again. And here's a different example. Can you tell me how to make a Hawaiian pizza, including the crust? I have canned pineapples, sorry, and cherries. What wine should I pair with it? So here it goes ahead and it gives me the instructions on how to make the homemade pizza crust, tells me how to activate the yeast, place it in a grease bowl, typing, tells me how to bake it, and gives me right here. And then it offers Riesling, Rosé, Lambrusco, Prosecco. And then it says, would I like a side dish to go with my pizza? Sure. Can I have a side dish? And then it'll offer that. What I've done in the past too is I've used this Google AI mode to say, okay, I've opened up my refrigerator. I have chicken, rice, eggs, some scallions, and caramel sauce. Can you help me make a recipe with this? And it will give me a recipe that matches the ingredients that I have. And it says, and I have a can of tomato soup. So here it gives me a couple of options as for doing this as a dressing recipes, appetizer ideas. So it will go through and do that for me. So give me instructions. Another way that I've used this too is I had trouble with my HVAC system in my home. So I went to Google and I said, my heat's not turning on. I have a Honeywell 2500 thermostat. Can you help me try and troubleshoot? And it walked me through how to take it off the wall, how to find the batteries in the back. Turned out the batteries were dead. So when I turned off the breaker, it just erased everything that was there because the batteries were not there. So it told me to replace the batteries, then told me how to push two buttons to put it back into forced air mode. I don't know how to do any of this. And I was going to have to pay $90 to have someone come to the house to fix it. But instead, I was able to take it off the wall and do like a simple fix, and all of a sudden put it back on the wall, hit the buttons that it walked me through to push, and boom, all of a sudden my forced air started working and the heat came on. So that was a $90 savings that I really appreciated.
Excuse me, Pan, if you, because you're going through AI, if you just went to Google and typed
Yeah,
in the same question or a question, does it automatically revert to an AI answer, or what would Google give you a different
it
perspective of
will.
that?
So I'm going to, let's copy and paste this exact same
Okay,
question, and I'll show you
right to
how and
Google.
why that works. So if I'm in google.com
Mm-hmm.
and I paste that in, it will
Ah,
come up with easy Hawaiian pizza. It will do
right.
all of these things, but it's not giving me the recipe.
Or instructions in any way.
No, it's not that like conversation style response here. So I'm getting some good recipes, but it defaults to its usual.
Mm.
But you can sometimes it'll jump in there and you're like, you'll see the AI mode show up. Like, how do I ski, excuse me, ski at Paramount? And let's see if it does. And here, when you see this AI
Ah,
overview,
so it automatically reverted to it.
it reverted to it.
Mm.
Now, if that's something you don't want, if I go over here to the far right, where this bird is, this is actually my Google account. This is my Gmail account. If I click on that and scroll down, there's settings here, more settings. And if I click on that, under other settings, you can turn off spoken answers, you can turn off the autocomplete, you can turn off language and reason, and I think it was privacy or savings of these items here. They changed this around a little bit. This is search settings. We have to go to account settings, manage your Google account. There we go. So in manage my Google account, you can turn off third-party apps and services. You can turn off any tracking that's going on in there, and you can also turn off the AI assistant. Recovery. This is AI-powered responses with AI mode in Google search. Here you can turn off any of that information here. It tells you where it does. Here's the overviews. So it's down here. How to access, how to turn it off is down here. They don't want you to turn it off. It's down here.
But it seems like you get much more information and better, thorough
I
answer
agree.
to your question from an
I
AI
agree. I
mode.
agree. But here where it shows the AI mode history, where it's saved. So when you go in here, you can see all the information on how to turn it off, how to turn it on, how to move any of that. Because some people don't like AI or they feel uncomfortable with it. And
Mm.
that's okay if you do. Um, but that's a way that those things can be turned on and off in data and privacy as well.
And Meredith asks if you can go over the image icon search again.
Sure.
The one where you show the picture of the artist, the painting.
Yes.
How do you
Absolutely.
get there?
Yeah. So to get there, when I'm on google.com,
Yep.
we have the microphone, which
Right.
is the top. And then here, this is search by image if I hover over it. It's
Yep.
kind of supposed to look like a camera, or an
Yes.
old style camera. When you click on that,
And
that's
click
where you
first.
get the item. So here, so you can upload a file. I'll upload something different this time.
Right.
Let me see, I'll go to pictures. I don't know if we have anything. This is a team's background from my university. There we go.
Okay.
So here it describes it, and here it shows it's SUNY Empire State University's backgrounds. And it goes on to describe this image features a vibrant artwork, blah, 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 bird holding a megaphone. And what's nice about this is it's also designed for people with low vision who are blind, that if they upload an image to Google, it will read this off to them and describe that image for them, which is very helpful if there's a chart or any kind of, like an infographic and they don't understand it, or there hasn't been given any information about it. They can upload it and it will also find that for you.
Got it. Thanks.
You can see also you have exact matches and visual matches. So visual matches are ones that have the same kind of feel or vibe as well. So if you find some artwork and you're like, I really love this, but I need something that has, I don't want matchy-matchy, but I want it to have that same energy, you can use that as well to kind of find things that are similar. So you can see it kind of matches that. I'll show you the original that we uploaded picture. There you go. So you can see in this this example here, this was the original we uploaded, and this is what Google is suggesting are similar matches. So you can see it's got the same kind of hues, tones, colors. So that's a very, that's a helpful tool for someone. And then you can do about this image as well. And it says similar images are about 3 years old. And something more detailed, like our artist may go into the art that's there, and that's available. And then here, upload files or images. If you have like a very large PDF, or you have like, you say if you have the zoning laws or something for your town and you have a specific question about it, you can select upload file. Let me see if I can find one here. Download. We'll do all this proceedings. That one's pretty big. So by doing that, now I have the ability to ask Google about what's inside that PDF. And I can say Doran, because that's my last name. I know I'm in these proceedings. And now it's searching only in that document for me. And it talks all about Pam Doran based on what was in this document. So this is very helpful if you have like a PDF or maybe an owner's manual for something and you want to find out about the warranty, or you can't figure out how to find, where's the seatbelt hook supposed to go on the third back seat, or how to reprogram the radio in your car, or if you're having issues with your dishwasher and you just search for the PDF manual online for your appliance or your car.
People.
Find that user's manual guide and use that plus sign after you download it to upload it. And you can ask questions about what's inside that document.
Pam, we only have a couple more minutes, and I wonder if you have time. I know there's other search tricks like asterisks and colons and other
Yes.
sorts of punctuation that can get you different searches too, right?
Okay. If you use cite and colon,
The word site.
cite. So that means you want to look inside of a website. So you can put like site, say, try to think, maybe lowhud.com, and then colon, it means it'll only look inside of that website for you. So if you go to a website and it has a terrible search, built into the website, no matter what you search, you can't find it. I'm going to put Peekskill Coffee House. Now it only shows me results from the website lowhud.com and the Peekskill Coffee House
Huh.
as the top hits. So that's a way, if you know it's on that website and you can't find it on that website, and it's because it's been poorly designed by the website developer, you can use this site lowhud.com : The asterisk used to be called a splat back in computer programming days, and that means like a wild card. It means I'm not really sure. There's a word there, but I can't remember what that word is. So if I did, let's say, row splat brewery, because I couldn't remember what was that word, in the middle, you'll see it starts showing me, oh yeah, that's right, Rojan Brewery, that's right. Now I remember. Or if it's like you can't remember someone's first name, but you remember their last name. It was Brennan something, I can't remember. Splat, and then let's say who's a good actor. We'll say Wayne actor. Let's see what we got. John Wayne. Oh yeah, that's what I was thinking of. John Wayne. That's the guy. So you can use that splat to replace a word that you can't remember, and that's telling Google to find the most likely word that it might be. So that's a very helpful thing if you have like trying to remember something. Or what was the name of that movie? It was something blah blah blah. So that's how you use the splat in a search. Or asterisk. I'm an old time programmer, so I still call it splat when I'm using it as a wild
I
card.
like that better. But we definitely all need help with what we don't remember. So that could be a
Yeah.
good thing these days.
Yeah, you
Splat.
can also use the minus sign to, if you have a bunch of hits, like say if I wanted horses, but I don't want power because I don't want cars. I actually want to see horses. So you can use that to make sure that what you have matches all of that. So if I kept getting Hillsdale, but I didn't want anything about New Jersey, I could put Hillsdale minus NJ minus New Jersey. And that would take those results out of your Google search. So you can use the minus side for stop showing me this. And once again, filter down your search. Good question, Beth. So, any other questions? I'm gonna stop sharing. So there are some really powerful things you can do inside of Google. The latest being that AI search one. It's an interesting one to play with. It's a way you can dabble with artificial intelligence without getting an account and without really paying for anything. I do find it very helpful for travel because Google Maps has been such a powerful tool for so many years, almost 30 years now. So what they draw from and the information they have, you get some really good results in there because we've been doing Google reviews for years and all of that. So I find that very helpful for travel. Looks like there's 2 new in the chat too. Was that there? I saw those.
So you gave some good little hints tonight, and I do appreciate them.
You got
Always good to learn something new. You think you know it all, but then you give a presentation and it's like, how come I didn't know that?
We've done this one before and it evolves. I mean, I remember doing this one 9 years ago and it evolves. Some things don't change, like using the minus sign and using the quotations, those don't change, but the AI mode is new. It's gotten more robust with image searches. So it's
Even translator has changed a bit. There's a lot more translation apps
yeah,
to use.
more
too.
languages
Yeah,
available in
yes,
it too.
truly. Yeah.
Mm.
So yeah,
I know
everything changes.
Scottish Welsh wasn't in there 10 years ago. So, all right. So if you don't have any more questions, thank you for coming. If you do have questions, I will stay here for a bit and I'll be the last one to turn the lights off. I'll start a countdown. I'll count down to 10, and I will start shutting down the website.
Thanks for coming, everybody. We'll see you in
Okay.
2 weeks.
Thank you guys for
Right.
doing this. Appreciate it. See
Right.
you in 2 weeks.
See you in
Alrighty.
See
2
your
weeks.
library apps.
Have a good week.
Pam,
Bye-bye.
I have a question. It's not on the topic today, which is why I didn't want to put it in there, but I was
Sure.
wondering if you could tell me how I have a yoga class that I'd like to it's on Zoom and I'd like to record it. And the person who offers the class is willing to record it as well, but neither of us know how to do it.
Okay. Well, we're in a Zoom call right now, which is helpful.
Oh, that's
One is being
I'm actually
recorded.
going to stop recording, so that would be another
would be-
thing because we don't need to talk about this, I don't think. And I don't need, if we want to record it, we can.
No, but I'll show. So in Zoom right now, Caroline,
Yep.
at the very bottom of the screen, you see where it's participants, chat, react, share. Then there's more, the circle.
Yep.
If you click on that, you'll see record.
Okay. Got it.
And when you click on that, it'll start recording. And
So
then
now
Well, I don't know if a
does the
participant can
person who-
record.
does the person who's offering the Zoom is the one who has to initiate the record?
That's what I think.
sometimes it
Yeah.
depends on the permission. But what
Right.
happens is once you hit the record, it'll start recording. And then when that person closes a Zoom meeting, a status bar will come up saying, we are creating your recording right now.
Mhm.
And whoever gets that status bar is the one who's going to get the video downloaded onto their computer. So it depends on who hits record. When they close it, you can't close that window until the status bar goes all the way to 100. Sometimes it
As
goes
a participant,
to
you
the
mean?
and sometimes it goes to a computer. It depends on how they have it set up.
As a participant, you mean?
As a-
Because like I have the power. This is my Zoom call. I can initiate record. So I'm recording these for our participants. I don't know if anybody I'm gonna just record. You stop the recording.
That was
Okay,
me.
so but you know why? You're a co-host though.
Okay. Do you
Yeah.
have that power, Carolyn?
I don't think Carolyn can do that.
Okay, so I'm gonna click. Should I click on record and see what
Go
happens?
ahead, see what
Go ahead.
happens.
Request to record to this computer. Request host to record to the iCloud. Oh wait, no,
Okay.
wait, no, oh no, I clicked on more. Yeah, I clicked on more, and then I'm record. And I'm clicking request to record to this computer. Request host to record to the iCloud.
So you could say request to record to this computer, and then the host is going to get a little
Send
thing.
it. Oh, then it says send a
Message.
request to meeting host.
Right. So then Beth, the host, will get a
Okay.
dialogue saying so and so wants to record, and they can say yes. And then when the Zoom meeting's done, you'll get that status bar I described. And don't close that status bar until it's done because it's making your recording while it's doing that. It's
Okay.
turning.
And then they have when I send that to them, they have to click on something there.
Mhm.
To allow you, right,
And
to give you permission.
At the end, I wait until the status bar is complete.
Yep. And then it'll say your recording is ready.
Cool. All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Good.
Good thing. I didn't know that either. But I mean, it's a permission thing. So the
Yeah.
participant would have to get permission to
Right.
do the recording.
And you have the default permission probably. So once it says do not allow others to record,
Right.
sometimes legal
Right.
proceedings or whatever, or
Right.
union.
And
meetings,
you as a
sometimes.
co-host, you are a co-host with me, so you have the same powers as I do, the same authorization. I know, right? We're like, yay. All right.
No. All right. Here goes the
I am
countdown.
going to stop recording.
10,
Okay.
9,
Thanks so
8,
much.
7, 6, 5,